honestly wasn't thinking about death at all that day. In fact, I was buzzing. My class had been canceled unexpectedly. My professor had to attend a funeral, but I didn't let that weigh on me. I saw it as a gift. It was a bonus afternoon. I was just excited to get out of the classroom, get up to Arthur's Rock, and get some fresh air. I was in adventure mode. I pull into the parking lot, music playing, ready to hike. And the very first thing I see is a 12, maybe 13-year-old boy carrying a dead deer across his shoulders, walking to his truck.
Hey, what's up everyone? It's Justin. And off to a bit of a somber start to my hike. And I didn't even know you could hunt up here. But as I pulled up to the trailhead, I saw probably about a 12-year-old boy hauling a dead deer over his shoulder back to his truck. So that was a bit shocking to see. I wasn't expecting to see that to start my hike off.
With his, I'm assuming, father and grandfather not far behind him. It stopped me dead in my tracks. As many of you may know, the deer is my animal. I connect with it deeply. Usually scene one is a moment of grace. But here was my spirit animal, lifeless, draped over the shoulders of a boy who was just coming of age. It was a visceral, symbolic slap in the face. The coming of age, the loss of innocence, the weight of life and death literally being carried by the youth. Whatever excitement I had about the hike vanished. It really hit me hard. I started to walk up the trail. All the things I had pushed to the back of my mind came rushing forwards.
It's also crazy synchronicity. So, I saw those deers on my other hikes that I did. Well, today I'm out doing a hike because my class is canceled today because my professor is attending a funeral. So, what are the odds of the day that's happening, I show up to the trailhead and I see a dead deer? I just ask that, and please honor the spirit of that deer, and I hope they use every part that they can. And I know most hunters are respectful and do use the whole deer, and it feeds their family for a long time, so I understand. It's the circle of life. It's just sad. And when you're not expecting to see it, when you're showing up trying to get all excited to do this hike. But I guess that was the lesson of today. You gotta take every day as a gift. You never know when it could be your last day, your last moment. Tomorrow is not guaranteed.
My friend recently lost her grandfather. My own grandma's been struggling with cancer this year, and the funeral my professor was at. I went from vacation mode to existential crisis in the span of 30 seconds.
So it kind of makes sense that I'm going to be reflecting on death, because shamans communicate with the spirit world. Who knows where this journey is taking us? But I'm excited to see. And death is not something to fear. I've said it a couple times, but death is just a changing of vehicles. That's all it is. We've all done it thousands of times before. We've all been in the before. We've all been in the after. It's nothing new. And if you believe in reincarnation, you already believe this.
But nature wasn't done with me yet. I got to the top of the rock, working through all this heavy energy. I set up my tripod on top of Arthur's Rock, and I had set it up on myself to do a meditation. And I was had the thought run through my head because I extended my tripod out and I was like, this is probably not a good idea. All it's going to take is one gust of wind and this thing's probably going to blow over, but that's okay. I'm going to do this meditation. It's perfectly calm right now. It's going to be real quick. We'll be done. I sit down to do my meditation. I get into it. I'm just about to wrap it up. I'm going through these last couple things I'm thankful for, and all of a sudden I feel a gust of wind blow on me. And I think in my head, thank you for this gust of... And I was like, oh no. And at that moment, I turn around to see that my tripod was blown over, and my tripod blew over, and my phone fell out of it and dropped a solid 15 feet to the bottom and hit the rocks down there. Yeah, so I scrambled down to get it, but the crazy thing is, as soon as I turned around after doing my meditation, turned around, opened my eyes, there was an all black squirrel just 12 feet from me.
I was worried about that. I should have. Dang it. It was crazy though. When I got done, there was a massive black squirrel there that I really wish I could record. Maybe he's still up here. Whoa. I've never seen a black squirrel. Oh, there he is. Hi. Thank you so much. Well, unfortunately, I just shattered my phone screen. Today is, like I said, a test. I can choose to let it get me down, or I can just accept it and move on.
I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen an all black squirrel. I have seen something kind of strange like that before. And that's when the second realization hit me. The duality. Back in 2016, just 3 months after I separated from the Air Force, ending a huge chapter of my life, I photographed a rare albino squirrel. A white squirrel. The light. The blank slate of a new beginning. Now here I am 4 months after quitting my job of 8 years to go back to school full time, ending another huge chapter, and right after seeing the dead deer, I see the black squirrel. The shadow, the void where new things grow. White squirrel, black squirrel, the boy becoming a man, the deer leaving the body. Why am I telling you this? Because this is what it means to actually work with power animals. It isn't always pretty. It isn't always a cute meme on Instagram. Sometimes the universe slaps you in the face with a dead deer to wake you up to the cycle you are currently living in. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into spirit animals, power animals, and how to read the signs that are right in front of your face, even when you aren't looking for it. That experience at Arthur's Rock is a perfect example of animal medicine. In the modern world, we treat spirit animals like personality badges. I'm so lazy, so I'm a sloth. I'm loud, so I'm a lion. But in shamanism, a power animal is not a symbol of your personality. It is an independent spiritual intelligence that shows up to help you navigate a specific season of your life. The deer didn't show up that day to tell me I'm gentle. It showed up in that specific way, lifeless, to teach me a harsh, necessary lesson about the tradition of the soul. That was deer medicine. The black squirrel didn't show up because I like squirrels. It showed up to mark a transition, to show me the other side of a coin from my experience in 2016. That was squirrel medicine. A power animal is a relationship. It's a guardian. Shamans believe we all have them protecting our vitality, our power. When we are connected to them, we are resilient. When we ignore them, or the messages they bring, we feel lost, drained, or disconnected. So, how do you know who yours is, or what they're trying to tell you? You have to look for the synchronicities. If I had just seen a squirrel and thought, oh cute, I would have missed the message. But because I remembered the white squirrel from 2016, and I connected it to where I was in my life, leaving the Air Force, versus leaving my job, the code unlocked. Here's how you can start reading the signs. 1. The rule of repetition. If an animal shows up 3 times in a short period, whether real life, TV, conversation, pay attention. Number 2. The unusual encounter. The boy carrying the deer. The phone falling and leading me directly to the squirrel. These are pattern interruptions. The universe breaks your routine to get your attention. Number 3. The liminal space. Notice when these animals show up. Are you grieving? Are you starting a new job? Are you going through a breakup? Animals are guardians of thresholds. They show up when we are crossing from one phase of life into another. Once you identify the animal, you have to interpret the medicine. And this requires putting the ego aside. I love the deer. I see it as a gentle, living spirit. But the universe needed me to see the death aspect of the deer to understand the lesson I needed right now. If you think your spirit animal is, say, the wolf, but you keep seeing spiders, you need to look at what the spider teaches. Wolves teach family and loyalty, while spiders teach creativity and weaving your own destiny. Maybe you don't need loyalty right now. Maybe you need to weave a new life. If the animal appears to you, do the research. Google the animal name, shamanic meaning. But more importantly, ask yourself, what is this animal doing? And how does that relate to my current struggle? Is it hibernating? Maybe you need rest. Is it shedding its skin? Maybe you need to let go of an old identity. Is it carrying a nut for winter? Maybe you need to save money or prepare. Once you realize who's walking with you, what do? You build the relationship. You treat it just like a friendship. First, study them. This is your homework. If it's a squirrel, read about them. They are master gatherers. They are preparation experts. Second, express gratitude. Just say thank you. Thank you, squirrel, for showing me the shadow side. Thank you, deer, for teaching me about the cycle of life. And third, invite them in. Before you go to sleep, ask that animal to visit you in your dreams and teach you more. My hike at Arthur's Rock started with excitement, hit a wall of reality, and ended with a broken phone. But I wouldn't trade it, because in that chaos, I got clarity. I understood that my life is just shifting cycles. Just like the seasons, just like the squirrel changing from white to black, that is the gift of the power animal. They remind us that we're a part of nature, not separate from it, and that life, death, and rebirth are all just chapters of the same book. I want to hear from you. Have you had a moment like this, where an animal showed up at a pivotal moment in your life? A death, a birth, a new job? Did you understand the messages then, or only when you looked back? Because in my case, I'm only now gaining clarity as I look back. I would absolutely love if you could please share your stories down in the comments. The way this community shares wisdom is honestly my favorite part about this channel. So what's next? I think we're gonna put a bow on shamanism for the moment, and we're gonna move on to exploring Catholicism and the UFO connection. We're gonna dive into the work of Diana Pasulka, and we're also going to explore the phenomenon through the lens of spirituality like Chris Bledsoe. We're going to see how these ancient practices tie into these other religions. So stay tuned, and please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because you're not going to want to miss what's coming next. And I hope you all have an amazing day filled with love and light, and I will see you in the next cycle.